The door slams shut. A cold click of metal on metal echoes, the handcuffs locking with a finality you can feel in your bones. The fluorescent lights above buzz with a faint, incessant hum. You're seated alone at a metal table, and the room seems smaller than it looked in the hallway. Silence presses against you from every angle. You glance at the chair across from you, wondering when, or if, someone will sit. Then you hear it, footsteps approaching. The detective enters, eyes locked on yours, expression unreadable. You already know you're not just in a room, you're in a battlefield of the mind.
Police interrogation is not a casual conversation. It's a carefully choreographed psychological war, and whether you're guilty or innocent, every word, pause, and blink can be turned against you. Most Americans have seen interrogations on TV or in movies, loud accusations, dramatic outbursts, confessions shouted in frustration. But in reality, it's far more sinister, far more patient. The most dangerous interrogations are quiet, subtle, and relentless.
The first tactic is always control. The room itself is an instrument of manipulation. Small, sterile, uncomfortable. Cameras hidden behind one-way mirrors record every twitch, every shiver, every hesitant glance. The table between you and the detective isn't just furniture. It's a boundary, a barrier that emphasizes isolation. Even the clock on the wall seems to tick slower, each second stretching into eternity. Time is no longer your ally. Detectives rarely start by accusing. They begin with what looks like casual conversation, questions about your day, your family, your job. A smile, a nod, a seemingly friendly tone. It's all part of rapport building, designed to lower your defenses and lull you into thinking you're in control. But nothing here is accidental. Every word is measured. Every pause is deliberate. They are observing how you react when you feel safe, how your eyes move, how your voice changes under subtle pressure. Once they sense a crack, the games begin. One of the most infamous methods in American policing is the Reed technique, a 9-step psychological strategy designed to extract confessions. First comes confrontation. You're told they know what you did. Even if evidence is flimsy or non-existent, it's presented as undeniable truth. Panic sets in. Doubt creeps in. Suddenly, your memory, your perception of reality, begins to falter. Then comes maximization and minimization. Maximization amplifies the consequences. If you don't tell us the truth, you could spend decades behind bars. Minimization softens it, offering moral justification. We understand why it happened. Just tell us so we can help. Between fear and false comfort, the suspect is psychologically corralled. Each tactic nudges you toward confession without the detective ever explicitly demanding it. Time is weaponized. Interrogations can stretch for hours, sometimes into an entire night. Sleep deprivation, hunger, and stress wear down mental resistance. Even the most confident person may feel panic creeping in, every word becoming more desperate, every breath more shallow. Some innocent people confess simply to escape the torment. Deception is another tool in the arsenal. In the U.S., detectives can legally lie during interrogation. They may claim to have DNA evidence, fingerprints, or that a co-suspect already confessed. Each false claim is a carefully placed psychological trap designed to make you believe resistance is useless. Fear and hopelessness can override reason, and even the innocent may start to think confession is the only way out. Every movement is analyzed. Micro-expressions, subtle shifts in posture, a fleeting glance. These are all data points. A raised eyebrow, a downward gaze, or a nervous twitch can reinforce pressure or guide the next question. Silence is equally powerful. A pause, seemingly meaningless, stretches like a shadow, forcing you to speak and often reveal more than intended. The classic good cop, bad cop routine is far more strategic than TV shows suggest. The bad cop might display anger, frustration, or impatience, cornering you emotionally. The good cop offers empathy, understanding, and a way out. The contrast creates tension, an emotional seesaw that manipulates your sense of safety and judgment. You believe you're making choices, but the choices themselves are engineered. Evidence is presented selectively. A blurry photo, a partial fingerprint, even a minor inconsistency in your statements can be emphasized. Authentic or fabricated, these pieces are psychological levers, tipping your perception of reality. You start questioning yourself, doubting your memory, wondering if denial is futile. Legal safeguards exist, but they're imperfect. Miranda rights are read, but in the pressure of an interrogation, they are often misunderstood or ignored. Silence can be misread as guilt. Anxiety can be interpreted as deceit. Even knowing your rights doesn't shield you from the intense psychological pressure of hours in isolation, facing someone trained to read and manipulate your every reaction. The moment of confession, when it comes, is rarely dramatic. There are no shouts or tears in most cases. It's quiet, almost hesitant, sometimes incomplete, sometimes false, but recorded, documented, and ready to be used in court. In the U.S., these statements can determine whether someone spends years behind bars or walks free, illustrating the immense stakes of the interrogation room. Consider real cases like the Central Park Five. 5 teenagers, young, frightened, and exhausted, were coerced into confessing to a crime they didn't commit. Interrogators used long hours of pressure, false claims of evidence, and promises of leniency. Despite their innocence, they confessed. Their experience is a haunting example of how these techniques can ensnare anyone, especially the vulnerable. So, what can a suspect do? Knowledge of your rights is crucial. Requesting legal counsel is essential, and staying calm is vital. But even then, the room is a psychological trap. Every pause, hesitation, and defense can be exploited. Detectives adapt in real time, adjusting techniques to push boundaries, intensify pressure, and erode confidence. It's a battlefield where the mind itself is the weapon and the target. The interrogation exposes something darker, the fragility of human perception under pressure. It reveals how fear, guilt, and authority can manipulate actions and decisions. For the American audience, it resonates because it touches on justice, law enforcement, and human fallibility. The same tools used to capture dangerous criminals can inadvertently capture the innocent, leaving long-lasting psychological scars. Walking out of that room is disorienting. Relief, regret, terror, or disbelief may all wash over you. Even when you're innocent, the psychological impact lingers. False confessions, misunderstood behavior, and manipulation leave an imprint that can last a lifetime. It's a stark reminder that interrogation is not merely about uncovering the truth. It's about controlling perception, bending reality, and testing the limits of human endurance. Interrogation is also an evolving art. Detectives study behavior, refine methods, and incorporate technology, voice stress analysis, AI-assisted prediction, facial micro-expression tracking. Yet the essence remains: a small, stark room, 2 humans locked in a mental duel, every word, glance, and pause charged with consequence. So, next time you see a confession on TV, remember, the drama is just a fraction of reality. Real interrogations are about endurance, manipulation, and subtle psychological warfare. They are not entertainment. They are a study of human vulnerability, authority, and the fine line between guilt and innocence. What happens during a police interrogation? Fear, manipulation, deception, and endurance collide. Truth and perception blur. Innocent and guilty alike face the same intense mental crucible. It's a place where the mind strains, every choice matters, and reality itself can feel uncertain. For the U.S. audience, it's not just a story of law enforcement. It's a glimpse into the fragile, complex, and often terrifying nature of human psychology under pressure. The next time you hear about a confession, think about the room, the lights, the silence, and the unseen eyes watching your every move. Think about the subtle pressure that bends perception. Think about the psychological battlefield where truth, fear, and human vulnerability collide. And remember, the interrogation room is a place where reality can be manipulated and the human mind can be pushed to its limits in ways most people cannot imagine.